All right, let's talk about the structure of a typical beat. This is R&B. We are inside a Bitwig. We also use a machine as our plug-in, and basically, this is what the beat sounds like. I am not done with this, but just want you guys to see what's going on. I'm gonna change this snare sound out eventually because I don't really care for it. But basically, this is a typical structure of a beat. I started something on this channel called Profile Builder, and I realized that I'm working with a lot of beginner beat makers. And so a lot of times you guys get stuck at 4-bar loops and don't know how to break away. So maybe this can inspire. So, real quick, I went to Arcade, which is a plugin that a lot of us use these days, and I grabbed this chord progression or whatever, and I built a beat around that. And then we went for, I don't think I went for drums yet, or did I? I guess we did go for drums. So this is coming out of machine. I have the snare, the kick, and the hi-hat split differently. And then the rest of it I just left in machine. Because that was the goal. And I think essentially that is the goal, to get everything out separate into your DAW where you can have physical control over the volume and further processing, like if you wanted to add compression, EQ, reverb, things like that. So all in all, it's all about sound selection, making sure you have great sounds so that you don't have to do much processing to it. And I did add compression to this just because I wanted to be a little bit more transient, like more attack on the hi-hat. So just a simple compression. And I wanted to, it's what they call, I don't know, it's like a Philly. So I have an LFO kind of going up and down, you know, for the hi-hats, just to give me that little that vibe. On the kick, I just curved out some low end and added a little bit of sheen on the top end. I didn't really use much plugins on this one at all. So this is the specs from me. This just tells me how the kick is kicking. But I can actually delete that. I don't need compression. I was using that for a video. I don't need that. So there is compression here. So I'm using the R channel. Fast release, slow attack. Threshold at negative 4.6. So I got the sub lab here. And what I did with this was I changed my attack on this because it was too harsh in the beginning. So there is it's like a delay in the attack. And then I add some saturation to this so it can come out a little bit better in the mix. I added 2 saturations to this. As a matter of fact, I got the lead saturator here, and I just think it sits really nice. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the 808. And then I add a double bass, give me that atmospheric. This is coming from a polysynth, as a matter of fact. This is Bitwig's instrument. I just went in and just carved it to what I like. It's just like that mean aggression. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It just makes the bass end sounds a little bit more exciting to me. Again, polysynth. It's a Bitwig instrument, and I just use a bunch of modulations to do different things. Like I got a couple of filters on here, then I got the delay 2 on here. I believe those filters came with it. There is a peak limiter on here, and then I add a ROM to it. So you can close these. So that's what that is. And then I have arcade in here. For extra chords. And also so I can add, this to like sections like this. And then that's actually muted. It's muted because it's down here, I think. No, I just muted it. Okay. So this is actually the bass sound right here. I thought it was muted, but that's what this massive here is doing. Just provide me the grunginess, legato bass notes there in that section. little more aggression on the drums in Battery 4. And here in this section in particular, it's pretty unique because I'm doing something that Bitwig allows me to do. If I could just solo this one section right here. Bitwig needs a solo button or a mute button, like an all mute, all solo. Okay, so let me minimize this here so I can bring this other window forward. I hear a wrong note somewhere. So if I'm looking at this, if you look at these notes here, right there, that's one whole note actually. That wasn't me coming in and like duplicating this or like painting that in. That's a operator operation. An operator operation here. So I turn it on. It's giving me 6 for this length size. It's giving me 6 notes, and basically this is what it's doing. As you can see, like I can, you know, it's giving me all of these chops. And let me undo that. Right. And then if I open this up, I control the volume as it comes in. So as it speeds up, it's coming from a low to the high. I have to pause and show y'all that because that's pretty freaking nuts to me. So that's what it's doing. I'm gonna go to a section where I'm gonna fix these notes. So that's what it was. Wrong note right there. I am a perfectionist. I hear these things and I will never let it fly. So, more than likely, can't really hear it that much in the mix, like when everything else comes in, but I hear it, so I'm gonna fix it. So that's pretty much the beat. To be honest, that's really the gist of it. So the whole concept here is that, like, when you guys are listening to music on the radio, you want to try to mimic what's going on because it's a great representation as to how songs are moving and what songs are doing. There's an intro section, there is a verse, there is a pre-chorus, there is a chorus, and then there's a part where you go back into the verse. There might be like a little breakdown area where instrumentations, I'll break it down, and It's like that throughout the entire song. Like the kick may come out, the kick may double up here and there, the bass line may change a little bit. The bass line may come out in a certain section. The It's very common now that there are two different bass sounds or three different bass sounds. As you guys heard, I have two different bass sounds that is complementing each other. Normally you don't do that because you will deal with low frequency issues, and those that's usually the area where we try to clean up as best we can, so we try to keep it simple. But in this case, there are two different bass sounds that complements each other. It kind of adds more of excitement, like I was mentioning earlier. So that's why I did that, and it's not clashing with each other. So if you can hear, and to be honest with you, this Astro pad, it's sitting like right above the 808. You know what I mean? So there's no clashing. I knew I did something. So actually, with this, in this case, this compressor right here is what round my kick off, and I would say that's the reason why it's there. That is the reason why it's there. It just helps round it off. As you can hear, it was like a weird. So I'm guessing there's something like algorithm wise in this compressor that gives it. It just, I don't know. It just, I was just playing with it for a video. As a matter of fact, I'm like, oh man, that's nice, and it just worked, and I just left it there. I'm telling you, that's how that happened. So a lot of times when you're playing with effects, it's not going to be where you have to know mathematical reasons or calculations as to why you need something and why you have to go a certain way because you saw another YouTuber do it. You just do things according to how it makes you feel, how it sounds. If it sounds good, leave it. You know what I mean? Just if it's weird but it sounds good, just leave it just like that. Like, man, this doesn't really follow what the other guy was doing. Even if it don't follow anything I showed you, if you take something and you get it to where you like it, leave it. Just leave it right there. If you following along with this video or any other videos that I do and you like meet me halfway and it sound good, leave it. Just leave it because I am a firm believer that every song is different. So it you know, every song should be treated differently. So therefore your settings is not going to be exact, but that's what I got here. And then these vocals come from Arcade on top of some stuff I recorded in here with my own voice, trying to tag my beats. Tag your beats. I just threw my vocals in here with the same effect that I came up with. Basically, it's just red light distortion, which is a Persona Studio One deal. As you can see, I can't run away from this. This is still one of my favorites. So that had to make its interest into the beat somehow. And then I threw one of the vocal samples in here and chopped it up, played it as a MIDI instrument. and this one is just extra vocal. And then I have a ROM on here doing what it does, and then the replica XT give that extra. So that's pretty much. And this sound is coming from bit no battery. Yeah, it's coming from battery somewhere. I just bounced it in place. I committed to it. Just add a nice little touch. I like it. Sounds cool. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of this beat here. And if you guys are taking something away, I hope that it's more so like song structure, how to structure a beats, just make it do something different every so often. We oftentimes come up with the same stuff, loop it over and over, and then we get stuck. My best bet, my best advice to you guys is to duplicate it even more. You know what I mean? Like if this is looping, just duplicate it some more and start taking stuff out, and duplicate it again, and then add some stuff, take some stuff out. Because basically, this is what this is. This snare is the same snare, it's the same rhythm. It was taken out in this area. It was taken out in this area. Same for the kick. The kick is the same. It was taken out. Took all the drums out in this area. Right here in this section, the drums kept going, but I took out the hi hats right here, and I just let the kick and the snare go. You know what I mean? And then eventually it came out again in this section, and then we brought it back for the chorus section or the hook section. Same with the rest of the stuff, the 808. Just kind of let the stuff breathe. So this is like the hook area, and then we go back into the verse right here. So it was just the kick, the snare, and then of course I have machine some stuff in there. It's the same concept though, ain't nothing different. So if I go back in here, same stuff. This is repeating what this is doing right here in this section, and then it's repeating what this is doing for scene 4. And then this right here, it's like this flute horn type sound. You know what I mean? So if you're somebody who needs help with like that, breaking out of that 4-bar loop that just keep going on and on and on and on and on, and it's like, oh, how do I get out of that phase, man? Just reach out to me. I've helped so many people come out of that rut, and as long as you learn the formula, it's real simple. To be honest with you, it's real simple. But I get it though. Sometimes you just don't hear it, and I'm gonna show you how to break away from that 4-bar evilness. You know what I mean? because it's definitely there. It got you locked up. You can't see but beyond the 4 bar, 8 bar loop, the monster, the 8 bar monster. So yeah, once again, I'm Ella, Creative Sound, Creative University. Remember, music is art. You're the artist. Paint your pictures. Stay creative without rules. Till next time, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. Likes up on the video, subscribe, all that good stuff, you know.